Ackee, native to West Africa, but now deeply tied to Jamaica. Ackee is one of the few fruits that is both culturally iconic and tightly regulated. It was brought to the Caribbean in the 18th century and became Jamaica's national fruit, famously paired with saltfish. The restriction in the United States comes from chemistry. Unripe Ackee contains hypoglycin A toxin that can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. Only when the fruit naturally splits open, revealing its yellow flesh, does the toxin drop to safe levels. Properly prepared, Ackee has a soft, almost scrambled egg texture with a mild, buttery taste. The danger, timing, and transformation make it as much a biological process as a food. Mangosteen, often called the queen of fruits. Mangosteen has a history of fascination stretching back centuries, native to Southeast Asia, particularly Malaysia and Indonesia. It was once so coveted that 19th century British accounts claimed Queen Victoria offered rewards for a fresh specimen. For decades, import into the United States was restricted due to concerns over fruit flies and agricultural contamination. The fruit itself is visually striking, a thick purple rind encasing white segmented flesh inside. It delivers a delicate balance, sweetness layered with slight acidity and floral notes. Its texture is soft and almost melting, closer to lychee than citrus but more complex. Even today, its rarity outside tropical regions adds to its mystique. Durian. Durian is one of the most divisive fruits in the world, both celebrated and banned in equal measure, native to countries like Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. It is known for its large size, spiked shell, and overwhelming aroma, so potent that it is prohibited in many hotels and public transport systems across Asia. The scent has been described using sulfur compounds similar to onions or even industrial gases, yet inside the flesh is rich, custard-like, and intensely creamy with flavors that combine sweetness, bitterness, and umami. Import restrictions into the U.S. have historically focused on sanitation and handling concerns. Durian is less a fruit and more an experience, challenging expectations of what sweetness should be. Miracle fruit. Native to West Africa, miracle fruit does not impress at first bite. Its small red berries taste mildly sweet, almost unremarkable, but its real effect begins after consumption. The fruit contains a glycoprotein called miraculin, which binds to taste receptors and temporarily alters perception. For roughly 30 to 60 minutes, sour foods like lemons or vinegar taste strikingly sweet. This biochemical interaction has attracted scientific and commercial interest since the 1960s, when researchers explored it as a potential sugar substitute. However, regulatory and safety debates limited its widespread adoption in the United States. The fruit itself is subtle, but its impact is transformative, turning taste into a controlled illusion. Jabuticaba. Native to Brazil, Jabuticaba is unusual not just for its flavor, but for how it grows. Instead of hanging from branches, the dark purple fruits emerge directly from the tree's trunk, creating the appearance of a tree covered in clustered grapes. This phenomenon, called cauliflory, is rare among fruiting plants. Jabuticaba has a very short shelf life, often just 3 to 4 days after harvest, which is one reason it is rarely exported to markets like the United States. The skin is thick and slightly tannic, while the interior pulp is juicy, translucent, and sweet with a hint of fermentation. It is often eaten fresh or made into wines and jellies, emphasizing immediacy over distribution. Salak. Commonly known as snake fruit, salak is native to Indonesia and gets its name from its reddish-brown, scaly skin. The outer texture resembles reptile scales, but inside, the fruit separates into crisp, pale segments. Unlike many tropical fruits, salak is not soft but firm, almost apple-like in bite. Its flavor is complex, a mix of sweetness and acidity, often compared to a blend of pineapple, banana, and citrus. Certain varieties even carry a slight astringency. Export restrictions have historically been tied to preservation challenges and pest concerns. Salak is notable for defying expectations, visually intimidating, texturally surprising, and flavor-wise layered. Langsat. and its close relative duku are small, pale yellow fruits native to Southeast Asia, particularly Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. They grow in grape-like clusters and are peeled to reveal translucent segments inside. While they resemble longan or lychee, their taste leans more toward a delicate balance of sweet and tart, with a slightly resinous note near the seeds. The fruit's latex-rich skin and fragile structure make it difficult to transport long distances without damage. This logistical limitation, combined with agricultural import controls, has kept it largely out of U.S. markets. Langsat is subtle and refreshing, valued more for nuance than intensity. Cherimoya, known as the custard apple, Cherimoya originates from the Andean valleys of Peru and Ecuador, where it has been cultivated for over 2,000 years. Mark Twain once described it as the most delicious fruit known to men, a statement that reflects its rich, creamy texture and complex sweetness. The flesh combines flavors reminiscent of banana, pineapple, and vanilla, all wrapped in a soft custard-like consistency. While Cherimoya is technically available in limited quantities in the United States, many high-quality exports are restricted due to their fragility and short ripening window. The fruit bruises easily and ripens quickly, making large-scale distribution difficult. It is less a commodity and more a fleeting delicacy. Pulasan, closely related to rambutan but far less known, Pulasan is native to Malaysia and parts of Indonesia. Its name comes from the Malay word pulas, meaning to twist, referring to how the thick rind must be opened. Unlike rambutan, its exterior spines are shorter and more blunt, and the skin is tougher. Inside, the flesh is firm yet juicy, with a deeper sweetness and less acidity than its relatives. The seed often separates cleanly, making it easier to eat. Pulasan is rarely exported due to its extremely limited shelf life and delicate handling requirements. It remains largely a regional fruit prized locally for its richer, more concentrated flavor profile.